Welcome back to Home Cooking Hacks, where we teach you how to do great things in the kitchen without a lot of gizmos and gadgets. So today we are going to talk about how to cut a pineapple without one of those silly little pineapple cores. You know that little kitchen gizmo that usually sell it right where the pineapples are like 10 or 15 bucks? Allows you to core a pineapple? Useless. Let's talk about how you cut a pineapple, but first let's talk about choosing a pineapple, because there is a little bit of misconceptions. One of the things that I find out there is that there's a fair number of people that don't like pineapple, and a lot of the reason is you buy a pineapple way too early, and then you cut it way too early, and it just doesn't taste good because the sweetness isn't there and whatever. So this guy here is the classic all-American pineapple. Gorgeous. This is the thing, when you see a pineapple, this is held up as the golden standard for a pineapple. Okay. The problem is this pineapple, is amazing as it looks, is not ripe. Okay. You want to buy your pineapples like this, but you want to leave them sit on the counter for about a week before it's ready to cut. All right. So, and I have not bought a pineapple in a couple days, but I knew I was going to be recording today, and so I wanted to record a few of these quickies. So I want to talk about cutting a pineapple. So I found this guy there as the golden standard of the best pineapple there is, but it's not ready to cut, and it will not be ready to cut for about a week. Then I looked for the pineapple that was closest to ripe that I could possibly find. Now, usually the store is going to take the pineapples that are very close to being ripe, and they're going to cut them up and, you know, serve them in fruit salads and whatever else. But I did find this one here, which is pretty close. This is the closest one I found to being ripe. So what you'll notice on this one, you'll see kind of the browner spots. Let me hold it over here where I have a little bit better light. A little bit browner spots down there near the bottom. It's not quite as deep green. It's a little bit lighter green. This guy here is a whole lot better to cut. So this guy here, it doesn't look as presentable, but it's going to taste way better than our gold standard pineapple. Now, this gold standard pineapple in a week is going to be absolutely great, but I was going to leave it sit here for a week while it can get great. Okay, so what we're going to do, though, is I'm going to show you how to cut a pineapple properly without having a pineapple core and all this, because apparently a lot of people don't know how to cut a pineapple, so we're going to go ahead and do that. Okay, so what we need to do this is we are going to need a cutting board, we're going to need a good knife, and we're going to need something to put our pineapple into, and of course we're going to need a pineapple. So what we are going to do here is our very first step is we're going to take the pineapple here, we're going to hold the stem up top, and we're just going to twist it off. So this guy here can just be discarded. If you do want to try and grow a pineapple tree, you can actually take this guy, put it into a pot of sand and water it, and it might in theory grow a pineapple tree. So now we are left with this guy here. So what we want to do is we're going to cut it into quarters. Usually I'm just going to cut it in half, and then I'll deal with each half as we go. So I'm just going to cut here right down the middle. And here is your inside part of your pineapple. I'm going to set half of it aside. So you can see in here, this guy here is the part of the fruit you want to eat. We have the core part in here, which is really hard. We don't want to eat that core. Now what we are going to do is I want to cut this part again in half. So I want to cut it so I can see it, and I'm going to cut it so I'm just going to go right down the middle of the core. So now I have two more quarters, and I'm just going to set one of the quarters aside. We're just going to deal with each quarter at a time, and each quarter is identical. First thing we're going to do is we're going to cut off each edge. So we're going to cut off this edge, we're going to cut off this edge. Now these otherwise can be discarded. What I like to do is I'm cutting the pineapple is I just nibble out. Gives you a little bit of pineapple before, you know, so you don't have to eat more. And you're going to have a hard time cutting this out anyway, but you can eat it out pretty easy. And that is a really good pineapple. That guy's right. That's ready to go. So now what we need to do is we need to cut the core out. So I'm going to look at both sides. You can see where the core is. Can't see quite as much on this side. Oh, let me get that into the camera view there. Can't see a lot of the core here. You can see where the core is up here. See a little bit piece up here. So I'm actually going to start on the side with the most. I'm just going to cut down and just kind of cut down to the point to where the pineapple's out. Again, this guy here, there's going to be some good fruit along the side. As you're cutting the pineapple, you can nibble out this side. which is pretty good. So for the rest of the video, I'm going to set those aside and do that at the end. So now what we want to do with this guy is we're going to make 2 slices, this direction and this direction. We kind of want it to overlap a little bit. And then you kind of want to follow the curvature of the side here. See, I follow the kind of curvature of the skin, because of course we don't want any of the rind there. Make sure our cuts overlap. So our last cut is here. We're going to overlap it a little bit like this. And try not to cut your finger. Okay. So now this guy here will come off. You can discard this part of the fruit. And then what's left here, I like to split this into 3 sections like this. And then just down the middle like so. Now what you can do is you can just take this guy here, grab it, and scoop it right on into your pineapple dish, which I have just out of view of the camera over here. So now we're just going to repeat that on each of these 3 ends. So I'll do this part really fast. Okay, so there we have it cut. Now I have a mountain of pineapple right in my pineapple dish here. Every now and again I'll get a pineapple that's slightly too big for all this, in which case I'll just take a few pieces out and snack on those. If I have a much bigger pineapple like this other one I have, I might just need to get another second smaller container. But this is my universal pineapple dish. I usually have this thing full of pineapple in the refrigerator. So of course once that's all cut up, store that pineapple in the refrigerator and enjoy some wonderful pineapple. Thanks for watching this quick tip from Home Cooking Hacks.